Welcome everybody to the Wednesday afternoon team call. I'm super excited. We used to take about 5 minutes on announcements. We're going to do it in 1 minute today so that we can get the most out of this call from Kayshawn as we can, because she has a scheduled call in 30 minutes. So we'll start out with saying that reminding you guys that Chris Pandolfo, a member of this team, is a Beachbody Challenge finalist, one of the 3 finalists. He lost 168 pounds in the past just over a year and a half. He lives in South Wales, UK. We're going to need your help as a team, your help and the help of your customers to vote for him. That won't start until Monday, June 3rd, and it will last for 1 week until June 10th. I'm going to remind you guys every single week so that we do not forget. You can vote once a day from your Team Beachbody account. So next thing to remind you guys of, to mark your calendar, Super Weekend will be April 12th, 13th, and 14th in the US and Canada, and then April 26th, 27th, and 28th in the UK. And then we have Summit, July 11th through the 14th. I usually talk about that a little bit, but we'll pass it this time. We want you guys there. Commit to coming. Ask me if you have questions. Ask your coach, your upline diamond. Ask me, and we'll help you figure out how to get there, share room with somebody, whatever it is to make it affordable for you. It's an event that you won't want to miss. So with that being said, I'm going to introduce our speaker with a short backstory of I worked with a corporate mentor for the first year and a half of my business. We built this team to an elite team, 5-star diamond, in about that amount of time, and then went on to be the number 4 team in the company. And then for some reason, I just stopped working with a corporate mentor. And so that's why I brought Kayshawn on here. She is my corporate mentor, and I've been working with her since the beginning of this year. And it's been absolutely awesome to get insights from her, to have her question me and the way I do things so that I can grow as a leader. So I wanted to bring her on here to meet you guys as the team. So with that being said, Kayshawn, I'm going to invite you on. She is not just a corporate mentor, but she's also a certified John C. Maxwell coach. So you are unmuted, and the floor is yours, Kayshawn.
Perfect. Thank you for having me. Happy Wednesday, y'all. Let me tell you something. It is an honor to be here because Scottie and I talk about you guys every week. And so I'm like, okay, that's Trent, that's Ashley. Like, I'm putting faces and names together. So I'm just so incredibly proud of what this team is doing. And I am going to come in and out hard and strong. Like Scottie mentioned, I'm one of the coach development mentors, and one of the value that I get to bring, or that we get to bring, because we have one, and for starting at the diamond rank in any country that we operate in. But the value that we bring is the fact that we get to work with so many different teams and organizations and leaders. And so we get to develop what's working well for the majority of people, or what's not working so well. And so as you're sharing what your goals are, we get to help you strategize and help you begin to figure out the things necessary to implement in order to reach those personal goals, and what Beachbody goals to focus on that will align with the attainment of your personal goals. And that's actually what I'm going to be bringing to you guys today. I was going to say tonight. It's not nighttime yet. It's very much so day. So that's what I'm going to be bringing to you guys today. The 5 tips that I found as of late are the 5 characteristics that people who are reaching their desired success are doing. So as we are talking today, as I'm sharing these 5 tips, I would really encourage you guys to begin to keep your goals, your personal goals, your Beachbody goals, maybe your personal goals for certain, in the forefront of your mind throughout this entire conversation, because I really want to make sure that you get everything you can from this time investment and while we're together. And as I'm talking about these 5 tips, so if there's something that you're like, wait, can you explain more on that? Or, hey, how do you guys do that? Let's stop and let's brainstorm, because that's how we're going to get better together. So with that being said, let's jump into our 5 characteristics or tips for success in this business. The first is to get results and set business goals. As I talk, you guys are going to roll your eyes a lot, because chances are you've heard these before. These are not earth-shattering, but maybe the way that I deliver it will be just a little bit different for it to hit you hard and you just go. But number 1, get results and set business goals. I'm assuming that many of you guys started here for physical transformation, and you have gotten amazing results, both on the inside and the outside. The cool is the inside part. But at some point, something clicked, and you saw that there was a potential for more, that there was a chance for more. And I always say that that's the opportunity that we have, that more. Our mission is to end the trend of obesity, but I think that we are ending trends plural. And you'll hear me say over and over and over again, because I believe it so much, that the opportunity that you guys have is to end trends plural. So we're starting with the trend of obesity, like our friend from Wales. Oh my goodness, 168 pounds. That's incredible. But we're also ending the trend of living paycheck to paycheck, which 7 out of 10 Americans, I'll have to do research on other countries, but Americans are living right now. We're also ending the trend of limiting belief and self-doubt with our personal development and with our ongoing commitment to bettering ourselves. We're ending the trend of loneliness. Where else would you be on a Wednesday in the middle of the day, but talking about how we can impact lives collectively? That's insane. And so rather you came in right away for that physical transformation, or maybe you came in for the business right away. The first things first is to have a goal that's rooted in a better you. And so that means starting with your own personal results, getting them, and I'm not talking major transformations, I'm talking about getting results, period, and then sharing them openly. And then while you're in the process of getting your results, showing up consistently. And when we're showing up consistently, we're going to be sharing what we're doing, why we're doing it, that it works, and then begin to invite people along the journey, either with you to hold you accountable, or on their own journey alongside you being on your journey. And we do this on social media or in person, and social media, your platform of choice. We have coaches who, of course, are having great success with Instagram, but we have coaches who are still having great success on Facebook. We have coaches who are having great success on LinkedIn, y'all. So whichever makes the most sense for you and for your market. But then be as excited about your new book or the new tea or the new season of Survivor as you are with what you're doing and your new business. And as you're building your network by getting your results and sharing them, also begin to share pieces of what you're learning along the process. Hello, that's when the Beachbody certifications really come in handy. And then, of course, what you're doing it and why you're doing it and only the way that you can do it. And then begin to set business goals. And as you're setting your business goals, you can answer these questions. Why are you doing this right now? And this will evolve. This will evolve as you matriculate. What matters to you and your family? What's necessary for you and your family? What's your desired feeling? As we talk about those goals that are in the forefront of your mind, if you're just jumping on, I ask you to keep your personal goals in the forefront of your mind this entire conversation. That way we can make sure that you get exactly what you need to get today. And then ultimately, those answers should lead us to our personal goals to be a better ministry leader and being able to donate to our charities of choice, being able to pay off those medical bills after that unforeseen health issue, being able to take that vacation that your family has never had, being able to visit your family over the holidays. Maybe it's been since your parents were taking you that you've seen your grandparents, or maybe it's $500 or whatever it is. I can go on and on with the goals, but begin to put yourself in the position to as the vessel towards the attainment. And then knowing that our actions must match the goals, after you set them, have the game plan to reach them. I'm going fast, so stop me if this doesn't make sense. Have the game plan to reach them, your goals, or your one goal. And this is the thing, if you don't know the steps to reach it, if you don't know how to reverse engineer your yearly goal or your by summit goal in order to break it down into weekly, heck, even daily or monthly increments, that's when you have to manage up. That's when you being the boss really takes control. So manage up, meaning reach out to your upline, reach out to your success partner, reach out to your upline, reach out to one of your coach business development mentors, but get the game plan necessary in order to reach your goals, and then get to work. Get to work going through your first 30 or your team's GSR, and then get to work. And so get results. And again, I'm not talking about major transformations. I'm talking about showing that this stuff works for you. And then have a goal rooted in a better you. Enjoy. that's personal to you, that's aligned with your why you're doing this. And then identify how Beachbody can be the vessel to reach them. That's number one. Number two is these people who are reaching their desired success. And success is defined individually. But the people who are reaching their desired success also use fear as a tailwind, not as a headwind. So they believe through the fear. They believe what is possible more than the fear of what's happening right now, or what I have to do, or the discipline even of doing it. Because the fear of going all in is common. Fear of failure, fear of success, imposter syndrome, looking the wrong way. Maybe you went to school for several years and people expect you to have that job or be that person. And you're that's no longer what gives you joy or brings you joy. I can go on and on. The fear is inevitable. The difference, though, between successful coaches or entrepreneurs and not are successful people suppress the haters. And I don't want to say that they don't care what people say, because we're human and we're allowed to have feelings. We're not a boxed brand like Ziploc. We are a human brand. We're going to evolve. We're going to change. We're going to go through emotions, and we should take time to feel those emotions. And so I'm not going to say that we should not care what people think, but we're not going to let those haters, those naysayers, those people who aren't paying any bills to win and to get the best of you and to get you off of course. So these people who are reaching their desired success, they stop allowing what other people think about what they should be doing or who they should be hanging out with or what career path they should have taken, or even maybe being pushy as we're talking about dealing directly with customers and potential coaches. They suppress that people caring about them being pushy or them potentially failing other people or not being the leader that they think they need to be in order to begin to build a team. And all of this is something that is learned from doing most often, but then absolutely personal development. Personal development, holistically, not just the books, not just the podcast, but getting out to live personal development seminars and events is another great way to begin to instill the belief for you to push through discipline or fear. So you have your goals and you know that you're coming from the right place with the best intentions, rooted in and genuine love that's aligned with the mission to impact many lives holistically. So knowing that and being that person that's genuine is enough for you to just do it, for you to just ask it, for you to be that person, for this team to be that team, because ultimately someone may be depending on it. Someone is miserable right now in their daily life because they need to supplement their income or they need to pay off some of the debt that is absolutely plaguing them and keeping them from being able to do things that they've dreamt about, like buying a home or buying a car or heck, getting an apartment. And so once you know that, you're coming from the right place, we just have to go. And the thing about belief is that you can work on belief just like you work on your glutes, just like you work on your mindset. Belief is something that you will continuously be working on at every level of your business, but it's something that if you don't have right now, you got to be intentional about getting it. But if you don't have it, go get it, but know that it's possible for you to obtain it. And you obtain it through your personal development, like I mentioned, through action, like I mentioned, and failing, quote unquote, but picking yourself back up and realizing that, oh, I didn't die. Or, oh, they don't think I'm this big dummy, or whatever it is that you're telling yourself that's holding you back from doing more and being your best. You do that with your surroundings, with your mentor, with this team, being here on a Wednesday. I'm preaching to the choir. I'm almost positive. But most importantly, you do this by putting you first and working on yourself harder than anything else. Number 3. So number 2 is believe through the fear. Use fear as a tailwind, not as a headwind. Number 3 is to put yourself in the place of success potential. Now, your success isn't defined by a rank. I'm here, I'm corporate, and I said it. But your success is defined by the lives that we impact, and impacting lives happens by the activities that we do daily. And so this team success is defined by the activities that you do, Lewis or Kristen, because this team is an elite team, but being an elite team is not based on one person. It's based on everyone collectively. And that's a way that you're already putting yourself in a place of success potential. And so I'm also about to list a few more ways, but the things that I'm about to list, these aren't for you to chase after shiny objects. These are for you to align with your personal goals, the ones that are in the forefront of your mind, and use them as a vessel use these things as a vessel to reach your Beachbody goals, i.e. to put you in a place of success potential, success defined by you. One is, we got to define consistency for yourself. We always hear this, show up, be consistent, but consistency is different for Nina than it is for Angela, because your lives are different. Your commitments outside of Beachbody are different. And so when we say show up consistently, that's what we mean, but we mean as defined by you. And so first we need to define, and maybe this is something that you approach daily, weekly, or monthly, but go through your calendar, go through your priorities, go through the things that you have to get done outside of Beachbody, and then plug in when you plan to do your Beachbody, and then focus on doing those business producing activities first and foremost. That's what defining consistency means for you. And then you show up. And hopefully, chances are you're more likely to show up consistently when it's defined by you. Maybe that means inviting is something that you do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And following up is something that you do Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm just kind of talking right now, but the thing that I want you to take away from this is that we have to be consistent, but the cool thing about consistency and you being the boss of this is that you get to define that for yourself. And also to that point, as we're talking about putting yourself in the place of success potential and defining consistency for yourself, ending your day, your week, your month, leaving it all out on the field. And leaving it all out on the field, again, is something that is defined by you. But don't rest your head until what you've said is most important and what needs to be done is done. And this is where the discipline comes in. This is where the why comes in. This is where your team and leaning on your team for accountability comes in. Don't rest your head. And if you need to reach out to someone, hey, I am dead dog tired, but I just have 4 more things to do. I've set my timer for 30 minutes. It's midnight. I'm going to do this. I'm going to message you. I know you're probably going to be, so I'm going to message you in 30 minutes just to say done. If I don't, when I see you at Summit, I owe you a back rub or a foot rub, something that you don't want to do. Right? Put yourself in, put skin in the game. And then show consistently. Number 2 is leverage the ultimate portion fix and these other launches that we have, if they make sense for you, But leverage the ultimate portion fix, y'all, because this nutrition piece is going to be groundbreaking. And also it pairs with our program that 5 years ago blew this business out the water. And that's 21-day fix reshoot being shot in real time. So leverage those, leverage that, what happened 5 years ago and the potential of what can happen again with that. 3, strive to end this year along the road to elite. I'm just going to ask you guys really quick, who is striving to end somewhere along the road to elite, whether that means team builder or elite premier team leader? By show of hands. Okay, I'm just going to scroll down really quick, Oh, all those videos are off. Okay. So I see some hands. Thank you. You can put your hands down. So in my opinion, if your mission is to help people achieve their goals and to live a healthy, fulfilling life, if your goal is to build a lucrative and sustainable business, then your goal should be to end somewhere along the road to elite. And the reason why is because that road to elite is very well-rounded in those regards, meaning we're talking about volume, we're talking about what your personal income and financial goals are. And then we're pairing them with the volume goals to reach in order to reach your personal goals. We're able to talk about that. Of course, we're able to talk about rank, which not only helps with opening up other new bonuses, opening up new potentials for capping out, which if I'm talking over your head, have a call after this or go to the FAQ and do a little research. But we're able to talk more about maximizing your income and the rank that comes with it. And we're able to talk about your leadership development and your duplication, which also leads to sustainability and building something that's lucrative, as opposed to just getting to a certain rank and maybe making $18 every now and then. Team builder is a diamond, just like a diamond is a diamond, but a team builder is a diamond who is earning an income and building a team. They are more solid and they're more likely to stay diamond and move beyond diamond. They're actually 80% more likely than people who don't hit team builder. And so as we're talking about putting yourself in the place of success potential, success meaning how you define it, those goals in the forefront of your mind, I'm not here to set goals for you, but I am here to say that it makes sense to end somewhere along the road to elite, period. Now, the next is, even if you don't qualify for the restart your clock promotion, restart yours. Why not? Join together, link arms together, and go restart. We're talking about building the momentum that's going to put you in the place of success potential. Next, go after the photo op. If you're going on the cruise, that's a great way to build your business. It's Success Club 20 by the 15th. Get 2 summits. Scottie mentioned that he talks about it all the time. It is our annual event that is filled with business, being trained by the top coaches in this business, new programs and product launches, an opportunity to be certified and trained by the greatest trainers. We're going to be shutting down the 13th largest city in the nation, their state capital, and doing a workout with 20,000 like-minded people, learning, growing, new ways to build your business by buying, wear, and share, and et cetera, et cetera. I can go on and on and on. Rachel Hollis, world-renowned speakers, one that we haven't even announced yet. Y'all, make it to Summit. And then lastly, and putting yourself in the place of success potential, let's get wins. Let's earn something. Let's help someone. And I mentioned earlier that success is based on the lives that we impact. And that's why it's important for us to impact them, period. And what I mean by that is Success Club should be something that we go for. Period. It's a great tracking system. I didn't even put that in, putting yourself in the place of success potential, because it's that much of a given. Success leaves clues, y'all. People have done this for 100+ months. They are no different. They have similar adversity. Why not? Success leaves clues, pick them up and go do it. But with that being said, if our mission is to impact lives and someone comes to us and what they need does not warrant a Success Club point, that's okay. That does not mean that we are less than, that we're a bad coach, that we're a bad leader because what they needed didn't warrant a Success Club point. That means that we're going to help them with whatever it was that they needed, that base kit, that hydrate standalone, and we're going to continue to help them get results. And we're going to, because our goals are dependent on people, but not any one individual, we are going to continue to do what we can control in hitting our Success Club goal. But when I say let's earn something, let's help someone, that doesn't necessarily mean Success Club. That means let's get some wins. That means beginning to, yes, hit Success Club. I'm trying to make this unequivocally clear that I want you to hit your Success Club and strive for it, but I don't want you to think that your success is attached to it, and that if what they need does not warrant one, that you suck as a coach. No. That just means that we have another opportunity to go help someone else. Okay. And that's also another opportunity for us to help someone to get a win for us, because a lot of us are doing this because our goal is to help people, and that's going to give us momentum to keep going, but also we're going to earn something. Additionally, with that, as we talk about earning something, make sure that you know how to earn an income, that you know how to reverse engineer into what your personal financial goals are. And then begin to put yourself in the place of success potential. Number 4 is be consistent with the 4 vital behaviors. And I have about 14 minutes. I'm going to share the story because it's so good, and it's an oldie, but it's a goodie. And I'm sure you've heard it, but there were 2 friends, a hare and a tortoise. The hare was known for his swiftness. The tortoise was, of course, known for his sluggishness because he was slow. And one day they chatted, and the hare began to make fun of the tortoise because the tortoise was so slow, and he was saying, I bet I can beat you. You're so slow. If we ran a race, I'd definitely beat you. And the hare was completely taken aback by what the tortoise, I messed it up. The tortoise said that I may be slow after the hare talked about him. I may be slow, but I bet I can beat you. The hare became very taken aback by what the tortoise had just mentioned, that he can beat him in a race. So he's like, are you kidding? Game on, let's do this. And so they appointed a rat as a referee, and they were on this large field, and then the rat stood and blew the whistle, and the race started, and then the tortoise and the hare started on their mark. And the hare, of course, took off at lightning speed, like we knew he would. And soon he ran out of sight, basically. And here's the tortoise just climbing along. And the hare must have been about a half a mile when he stopped. And he turned around to see where the tortoise was and how far back the tortoise was. And so he's looking back, and he couldn't really see the tortoise. He's like, oh, well, he's really far behind. I'm just going to chill here for a little bit. And so he sat there, and he snacked, and he drank a little bit of water, and he took a little bit of a nap in the shade. And the hare slept for a long time. And when he looked up, he looked around, and the tortoise still was nowhere to be seen. But the hare at this point, he felt rested, and so he decided that he was going to go ahead and complete the race. And as he approached the finish line, he grew more and more astonished. The tortoise had already reached the finish line. The hare lost the race, and so he never poked fun of the tortoise and his slowness again. The moral of that very childish story is, if you have all that you need to win the race, which you guys do, this team does, these teams that are represented do, the only thing that could stop you from winning is stopping. The tortoise believed that it did not matter how tough the goal was, if he kept at it, if he kept going, even a little bit, that he would be able to achieve the goal. Same for you. And so as you see all the trainings available, don't venture too far out of those basic business producing, vital, necessary to survive behaviors. As a matter of fact, most oftentimes I ask people when they're beginning to fall short of their goals, are you doing the 4 vital behaviors? Are you showing up? Are you doing a program from start to finish exactly how it's written? And then begin to use the Success Club tracker system, or any tracker system that works for you, and work from list. The list that will allow you to know who and when to follow up with. And then we're going to strive to bring on at least one new business builder monthly. Consistency, seriously, is the not so secret to success, in my opinion, in life. But it's not in the way that anyone else has defined it but you. You are your own boss in this regard. Define it and then show up. Last tip is less learning, more action. It's go time. And so regardless of what you know or what you think you don't know, or what you look like, or the time that you don't have available, just go with what you do have, and put your blinders on to some of the loud noises or the loud visualizations of what you should be looking like to build this business, and what time should be available for you to build this business. Put your blinders on. The tools are there. The team is here for you. You're not in this by yourself. And you don't have to run your challenge groups alone, or your trainings alone, or your team pages, or your sneak peeks, or anything else. That's why you're a part of this team. You have an amazing upline. Lean on them. Lean on your success partner. Be held accountable. Hold other people on the team accountable. And that means you don't have to wait for corporate to say go. You don't have to wait upline to say go. You get to say go. And I challenge you to say go right now. And then knowing that everything you need is already within you, including the guts to go despite life, or despite past failures, or despite limiting beliefs, despite all of that. Because who you become tomorrow and the next day and the next day, and even 5 years from now, depends on what you do today, but not because you did it perfectly, because you did it, period. And you showed up consistently. And so now that we have those 5 tips for success, we'll have to put our blinders on. And I actually was doing some research about racehorsing and blinders. And I learned that the only time a racehorse falls is when they turn to look left or right. The racehorse has to stay looking just ahead of themselves and always forward. And even the most successful racehorses of all time, one by the name of Secretariat, he had all the natural talents and all the natural abilities, and he still wore a blinder. The only time in a horse race that you see a horse fall is because of one of 2 things. One, they weren't wearing a blinder. Maybe they were a little too cocky. And 2, they looked left or right despite having their blinders on, meaning you have your game plan. You understand your goals. You know where you're coming from. So now that we have the game plan to go reach those, we have to put our blinders on. Being a champion, being a winner, being a successful ministry leader or donor to your nonprofit of choice, entrepreneur, husband, dad, wife, all of that is not the end goal. It's the byproduct of this amazing journey that you've decided to embark upon with this amazing team. And so I'll end by saying this. Welcome to your new beginning. That's all I have for you guys. I'm going to open it up for questions. Scottie?
I love that. Thank you, Kayshawn. You need to leave for a call, right? And then I'll be here.
But I got about 5 minutes. I told her I'll be about 10 minutes late.
You've got questions. Anybody have a question for Kayshawn?
Really? About anything?
I know someone does.
Well, was it beneficial?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I have a question for you, Kayshawn.
Please.
What's one thing that you see that you like, because you've worked with so many coaches that have built a successful business, what's one thing that you see them as you mentor them that they wish they hadn't have done, that they had avoided from the beginning? Hit on it, but
that's such a great question, Scottie. What's one thing that leaders that I work with who have built a successful business have said they wish they didn't do? Candidly, the one that's off the top of my head, because I think that there would be more than a few. That could be a whole nother 5-tip conversation right there. But they wish that they had just stayed focused on their goals, because at a certain point, maybe it's when you reach 5-star and you get into what we call the round table, which is where we house all the 5 stars and above. You begin to see how other people's dream and what their goals are. And you begin to think, should my goals be like that? Should my dreams be like that? Do I need to switch up everything that's been working for me because they're having quick success? Or, man, she brought in 50 coaches this month and I'm doing extremely well bringing in 3 to 5, but I want to go bring in 50. So I'm going to switch everything up to go. So all this to say that I would say the number one thing is they wish they would have put on their blinders and stayed steadfast towards what they identified to be their goals and their actions necessary to reach their goals.
I love that. Perfect. I see some questions in the chat. Ashlyn says, I've been struggling with finding my why. How do I look deep enough and find it for those moments when I want to throw in the towel?
That's great. We often hear, have that why that makes you cry. And candidly, as we're getting started, it may not make you cry. And that's okay. I don't want you to think that your why, obviously we want it to be strong, but a strong why does not necessarily correlate to it jerking tears out of your eyes. So I would start with the expectation of what the why is. And they begin to go back through some of those questions that I asked you. Like, why does that feeling that you desire to feel matter to you? And what are the faces of your families at that place? Like, you have to begin to just think. And I joke and say, lock yourself up in a closet and just ask yourself these questions. I'm joking, but for real. But just begin to ask yourself, like, what would life look like if there were no boundaries? You know, what could I do? What would I want to do differently for my family or my unborn family that was not afforded to me? What is that thing that my parents always did and they did it to the death of them? They're still alive, but man, they beat themselves up trying to do this. And I want to be able to provide back for them. I want to be able to say thank you for them or whatever. So you'll just begin to ask yourself those questions. A great book is Start With Why by Simon Sinek, where he also outlines some of these questions to begin for you to develop your own why, or we'll call it something different, that deep goal, that deep driver that will make you go up. But even sometimes you have that deep driver and you still need a swift kick in the pants. And that's where accountability comes in. So to go back to what I just mentioned, redefine what the why is. It doesn't have to be something that jerks tears out. Begin to lock yourself up in the theoretic closet and ask yourself those questions. Read some of the why books or listen to some of the why podcasts that help you begin to define your why. But then even with having a why, sometimes it's not about that. Sometimes it's about the discipline. And so work on your discipline and get your accountability partner in order to make sure that you're doing the things necessary, period.
Love that. Okay, you just let us know when you need to go.
Maybe one more question. I can't find my chat. Where's my chat?
I don't know. I'll read one from Ashley. It says, I've been struggling to find coaches. I now know it was due to a lack of belief, like you said. I didn't have any blinders on. Do you have any other suggestions?
Oh, Ashley, well, welcome to your new beginning for real, girlfriend. That's exciting. I would say go back to these tips. You know, I mentioned get results and have business goals. Do you have those? Are like, and when I say get results, I don't mean like just a physical, I mean holistic. I mean, you're showing up, you're doing the program completely as it's written, including the nutrition, and you're documenting your journey on your social media of platform of choice. And you're setting goals that are aligned with that. So I would say, to begin to go through some of these tips, but make sure that they're rooted in you doing you, being a better you, and then sharing about that process.
Okay.
I love that. Kayshawn, well, we'll let you go.
All right.
So you can get on to your next call. Those of you who want to stay on, I'm going to give some tips that Kayshawn gave me as my accountability. But Kayshawn, we'll let you go, and I'll finish out with like 5 minutes right there on that.
Okay, perfect. Bye, guys.
See you, Kayshawn. Thank you so much. So I just want to address really quickly that last question, Ashley. I see you're still on here, struggling to find coaches. I was at a point in my business early 2011, 12, 13 as I started, where I got to the point where I was recruiting 20 coaches every single month. And I mean, like 5 of them out of the gate would start hitting Success Club and working and advancing in their rank and building their business. Last year, so, you know, I'm working with Kayshawn now. I recruited on average 1 to 3 coaches every month. I still hit Success Club 10 every month, but I recruited 1 to 3 coaches every single month. There were some months, if you've seen some of our trainings, where I had SC 50, but they were all challengers. And so one of the things I was working on with Kayshawn this year is like, hey, we missed Elite last year as a team because I struggled in this category, getting new coaches to hit Success Club in their first month. So she was asking me, how many coaches are you bringing on each month? What's your process? We're going through all that stuff. And she was looking at a couple of my things. The first thing is my belief was not as strong as it was in the beginning. So that was one of the things. My belief was not as strong in the beginning that I could help somebody build a business. Number 2, I was not sharing, and she pointed this out to me, about the business opportunities, financial success stories, as much as I was back then. So back then I was always talking about the business opportunity, coaches, their success, what they were accomplishing. So she just took a look at my social media and she's like, okay, if I'm a new follower and I look at your Instagram, because that's where I'm building right now, she's like, I don't really know. I see that you do some workout stuff, but I see nowhere right now on your Instagram that you can help me build a business. So how do you expect to attract a business building coach if your Instagram and your messaging says nothing about you can do that? And I was like, oh, that's a slap in the face. I've just missed that. It's something I did before that had just fallen away. So I just started with simple things that I'm just adjusting every week. I started working with her in January, but mine said, my Instagram intro said something like, I help people transform their lives physically, mentally, spiritually. It said something like that. So I changed it. It says, you want to earn extra income from home and I will teach you how. So that's what it says. And then the crazy thing that happens is now that I'm very clear on that, my posts are more clear as well and direct on how to just small things on how I help mentor people, how I can help teach somebody build a business from home. So that tip, along with reading this book, has helped me clarify and shorten my message. So it's very clear on how I can help people build a business. It's Creating a Story Brand. That's the book I'm reading by Donald Miller. I'm actually done. I'm reading through it again. So that's the first thing I did. I started that in January. In February, it's March now, February, I signed 10 coaches. And remember, I was doing 1 to 3 a month all of last year. So that was one thing that I changed. So one thing that I suggest, if any of you guys are struggling in any of these areas, reach out to your upline sponsor, reach out to me, have us look at your stuff and give you advice. That's what we're here for. But the other thing that I did, because remember the first thing I mentioned was my belief. So I had to not just my belief, but I had to get clear. Kayshawn talked about it, getting clear on your goals and why they're important to you. Every single day since Summit, actually, I've written down my purpose statement and my goals every single day before I get started. And I'm just going to read it. It's like the same every single day. I'll just come here to the end. It says, empowering others to continually develop into their fullest potential, ending the trend of obesity, and creating the most sustainable and reliable source of income from the home. We are an elite team 2019. We are a superstar diamond team in 2019. And then here's the important part that I had to start doing or writing. It says, and I didn't start this at Summit last year. I started this part when I started to talk to Kayshawn. It says, I attract and recruit 10 new coaches every month who work hard, have passion, love solving problems, and working together as a team. We help develop 10 of these coaches in 2019 into strong diamonds and team leaders. Our coaches are building their teams, and their volume is growing, and they enjoy working, and they love their paychecks. So I just had to get very clear on that and writing it out. And so by writing that out every single morning, it's increasing my belief. It's making it, because one of my activities after I do that is I do my workout and then I write my posts. So my posts are more directed towards my target market of somebody that needs to build an income, pay off their debt, all of those things that Kayshawn talked about today. They have, I can't remember how she worded that. They're missing something. They're the trends of, all of plural, all these different things. So I'm more clear on my messaging, and I'm more clear and direct on my invites. And I was missing all of those opportunities before when I wasn't clear on that. A specific example, she's not signed as a coach yet, but I had a prospect call like a month ago. The girl does CrossFit like 6 days a week, and she just needs help with her nutrition a little bit. So I did a phone call, talked about the portion fix, all of that stuff. She's like, okay, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to try Shakeology. And then she ghosted me. So she didn't click the link. She didn't buy it. So I just continued. I followed up with her, did all of the standard stuff that we teach in the invite process. I comment on her photos, awesome work at the CrossFit games, all of that stuff. Genuine interest in her and what she's doing. And then I just texted her. I was like, hey, did you have any questions about that package I sent you? And she's like, yeah, I'm not interested in that anymore. I'm seeing results now with my nutrition. My fitness is the best it's ever been. And because I've dialed in this aspect that we're talking about, I'm being clear about my goal of recruiting coaches and building a business and finding business building coaches. I had the right mindset to not look at that as a rejection and say, hey, like, that's freaking awesome that you got your stuff dialed in and you're feeling better than you've ever felt before. Have you ever thought about what I do and using your results and your passion for fitness to help other people? And she's like, I would actually love that. How does that work? And so now she's in the process of watching the coach opportunity videos. And now I'm just waiting to hear back what she liked from the video that I sent her. So like those things I know I was missing last year when I wasn't clear on what I wanted with my business, which was to attract those type of people into my business. So I hope that helps a little bit. I have a prospect call to get on to, and I know you guys, your time is valuable as well. And we spent a good 45 minutes together. So I'll let you guys go, but I want to remind you guys right now that next Wednesday, we don't have a team call at noon Mountain Time. We have a coach sneak peek at 7:00 p.m. So 7:00 p.m. Mountain, 9:00 Eastern time. Myself and Bryn, one of my downline coaches, we're going to do a coach opportunity. So it's your responsibility right now to take all of the things you learned today from, let me mute real quick. I muted that. Take everything that you learned today from Kayshawn, that energy, that excitement, the tips that she taught you, and spend a week just solely focused on talking to people, finding out their goals, finding out what they need in their life right now, and just saying, hey, I think I might have a solution for you. Why don't you come listen next week as my private guest on a call, and we'll see if what we talk about can help you achieve whatever this missing gap is that they want in their life. But you won't know what that gap is unless you start talking to people and sharing your story and inviting people. So invite people. It's going to be the same call link, and I promise I'll bring my very best of telling my story, and Bryn will do her very best, and let's build your teams, okay? All right, we'll see you guys on next week's call. See ya.